I was standing in my spare bedroom on a cold February morning, looking for a box I had put away after Christmas, and I could not find it. Not because it was hidden, because there was too much in front of it. A broken floor lamp I kept meaning to fix. 3 cardboard boxes I had not opened since we moved in here 12 years ago. A stationary bicycle I rode twice in 2009 and then decorated with hanging laundry for the better part of a decade. I stood there in my house robe and socks looking at all of it, and I felt something I had not expected to feel. Not overwhelmed, tired, just deeply, quietly tired of managing things that no longer had anything to do with my life. I had spent 40 years going into other people's homes. I cleaned them, I organized them. I watched what happened when people held on to too much. I watched rooms shrink. I watched houses fill up with the past until there was almost no room for the present. And I swore I would not do the same thing in my own home. But there I was, standing in front of that stationary bicycle in my house robe, swearing. So I started throwing things away. Not everything at once. 8 things to begin with, just 8. And I want to tell you what those 8 things were and why letting them go was harder than it had any right to be, and why I am genuinely glad I did it. My name is Ruth. I am 73 years old. This video is about 8 specific items I finally let go of after 60, and why getting rid of them made my home feel like mine again. The first thing I threw away was the duplicate kitchen tools. Not 1 or 2 extras, real duplicates. I had 4 wooden spoons, 3 spatulas, 2 sets of measuring cups, 2 colanders, a drawer so full I had to press down on the handles to close it every single morning. We all accumulate them. A gift here, a sale there, an old set you kept when you bought a new one. Nobody notices when it starts. You just wake up one day and you are wrestling your own silverware drawer before you have had your coffee. I cleaned a kitchen once for a woman who had 11 spatulas. 11. I counted them because I had to move them every week to wipe down the drawer. She told me she kept them because each one was better for a different task. Maybe that is true, but she only ever used 2 of them, and the rest just accumulated grease around the handles and took up space I spent 45 minutes cleaning around every single month. Pull everything out of one drawer this week. Every tool, every utensil. Lay them on the counter. Keep the 2 or 3 you actually reach for. Everything else, donate it or throw it away. 1 drawer at a time, that is all. Tell me in the comments, is there a kitchen drawer in your home right now that you could not fully describe what is inside it? Because if there is, you already know what to do. The second thing I threw away was expired medication. Not old medication, expired medication. Pill bottles from 2 doctors ago. Prescriptions from a surgery I had in 2017. A bottle of cough syrup with a use-by date that said 2015. We keep these things because they feel like insurance. If the same thing happens again, the medicine will be right there. But it will not work. And it is cluttering up the very place you need to find things fast when you are not feeling well. My grandmother kept her medicine cabinet so organized you could find anything in 30 seconds. She threw out anything expired without ceremony. She said if the date says it is done, it is done. No arguments with the calendar. She was not sentimental about pills. I wish I had learned that lesson younger. Go through your medicine cabinet this week Every bottle, every box, every tube. Check the dates. Anything expired goes in a sealed bag. Most pharmacies now accept them for safe disposal. Do not flush them. Do not throw them loose in the trash. But do get them out of your house. The third thing I threw away was clothing I had not worn in more than 2 years. Not 1 year, 2. I kept lowering the bar for myself because I could always find an excuse. That blouse was too nice to give away. Those pants might fit differently next spring. That coat had sentimental value even though it made me look like a gray lampshade. We all have a version of this. The clothes that live in the back of the closet and never come out except to be moved to the other side of the closet and moved back again. I had a dress I bought for my younger daughter's graduation dinner 11 years ago. Beautiful dress. Still had the dry cleaning tag on it. Every time I opened my closet, I saw it. Every time I thought, I will wear that somewhere. 11 years. No somewhere ever arrived. Take everything off the rod on one side of your closet and look at what has been hiding. 2 years unworn is the rule. Not 2 months. 2 years. If it has not been on your body in 2 years, it is not part of your life anymore. Donate it to someone for whom it will be. The fourth thing I threw away was old paperwork. Not tax records. I am not telling you to throw those away. I am talking about instruction manuals for appliances you no longer own. Warranty cards for things long out of warranty. Every bill and receipt from 2011 in a manila folder that was never labeled. Stacks of paper that exist for no reason except that we were taught not to throw paper away. I had a file box I had carried from house to house for 22 years. 22 years. When I finally opened it, I found the instruction manual for a blender I had owned in 1998. I found a receipt from a grocery store in a town I moved away from in 2004. I sat on the floor of my bedroom and laughed until my back reminded me that sitting on floors is no longer an option. Get yourself a bag. Go through one drawer or one box of paperwork. Instruction manuals for appliances you still own can be found online. Everything else. Shred anything with your name or account numbers. Recycle the rest. One box at a time. The fifth thing I threw away was decorations that were never mine to begin with. A figurine from a relative. A painting chosen by someone else for a house I used to share. A collection of ceramic owls I started in my 30s and stopped caring about sometime around my 40s, but kept out of a feeling I cannot fully explain. Obligation, maybe, or inertia. Your home should reflect the person you are now, not the person you were in 1986, not the taste of a relative who gave you something 30 years ago. I went into a client's home once a week for 9 years. She had an entire shelf of porcelain figurines she had inherited from her mother-in-law. She told me she had never liked them. Not once, in 9 years of cleaning around them, did she ever say she liked them. She kept them because getting rid of them felt disloyal. But she lived in a house decorated for someone else her entire life. That is not loyalty. That is a quiet kind of sorrow. Walk through one room. Look at what is on your shelves, your walls, your surfaces. Ask yourself one question. If I were moving into a new house tomorrow, would I pack this? If the answer is no, you already know what it means. Tell me in the comments, is there something in your home right now that belongs to the life of someone else? You can be honest. There is no wrong answer here. The sixth thing I threw away was mismatched or chipped dishes. Not all of them, not the good set, the extras, the ones I kept in case I needed more. The chipped mug I never used but felt guilty throwing away because it was a gift. The side plates that did not match anything else but were perfectly good. They were perfectly good. That is the thing. They were perfectly good and they did nothing for me but take up cabinet space and remind me of meals I no longer hosted. I had a full extra set of dishes in my lower cabinet for 12 years. Never used. I kept them for big family dinners, but those dinners had become smaller over the years. The family had spread out. The table sat 6 and I was setting it for 3. There is something quietly sad about extra dishes. They belong to a version of life that has shifted. Donate anything chipped. No one wants chipped dishes, and they are not safe for everyday use anyway. If you have full sets of extras you never use, donate them to a shelter or a church kitchen where they will actually feed people. That feels much better than a dusty cabinet. The seventh thing I threw away was old hobby supplies for hobbies I had abandoned. A bag of yarn for a scarf I started in 2013 and never finished. Painting supplies from a class I took once in an attempt to do something creative that turned out I was not meant to do. Half-finished cross-stitch kits, scrapbooking materials still in the original packaging. We try things. That is good. We should try things. But when we stop, we sometimes keep all the evidence of the trying, as if getting rid of it means admitting failure. It does not. It means making space for what actually brings you joy now. My grandmother had a saying. She said, "The things that clutter your hands also clutter your mind." I did not understand it when I was young. I do now. Every unfinished project I walked past was a small, quiet weight, not heavy by itself. But there were 8 of them, 9, 12. Together they were exhausting. Give unfinished craft projects to a community center, a library crafting group, or a neighbor who sews. Give the supplies to someone who will use them. You do not have to finish everything you started. Letting go of it is its own kind of completion. The 8th thing I threw away was items I was keeping just in case. The extra extension cord in case one breaks. The second blender in case the first one stops working. A set of guest towels in case someone important comes to visit. In case, in case, in case. We carry a lot of weight for contingencies that rarely arrive. And in the meantime, all those just-in-case items are taking up the space and energy of the life that is actually happening right now. I kept a beautiful set of guest towels on the top shelf of my linen closet for 8 years. Monogrammed, never used. One Tuesday morning, I took them down and put them in the bathroom and used them myself. That was the morning something shifted. I realized I was treating my own home like it was a waiting room, like the real living was going to start later, for someone more important. You are the special occasion. Today, right now, is the special occasion. Use the good towels. Put out the things you love where you can actually see and touch them every day. Stop storing your life behind the things you are saving it for. Tell me in the comments, what is one thing in your home you have been keeping just in case for years now and never actually used? I genuinely want to know, because I suspect I am not the only one who kept guest towels on a shelf for nearly a decade. Here is what I know after 8 decades of watching people live in their homes. The things we hold on to are not always about the things themselves. They are about the life we thought we would have, or the person we thought we would still be, or the future that never quite arrived the way we imagined. Letting go of objects is also letting go of a version of yourself. That is real. It is allowed to feel like something. But here is also what I know. When those 8 things left my house, I felt lighter. Not metaphorically. I mean, I walked through my own rooms differently. I opened drawers without bracing myself. I stopped managing clutter and started actually living in the space I maintain every single day. Tending is a relationship you maintain, but you cannot tend to what matters if every surface is buried under what no longer does. I am 73 years old and my home is the most peaceful it has ever been. Not because it is perfect, because it is mine. If you are somewhere in the middle of this, start with just one thing, one drawer, one cabinet shelf, one bag of yarn for a scarf you are never going to finish. Start there. Leave me a comment below and tell me, which of these 8 things is sitting in your home right now? Or tell me what thing you let go of that you are glad you finally did. I read every single comment. And if this is your first time visiting this channel, I hope you will subscribe, because I post every week, and every week I am here to tell you what I know, plainly and honestly, from a woman who has cleaned a lot of houses and finally made her own home something worth coming back to.